Chapter 5. I finally stopped running and saw that I was close to the bottom of one of the small hills. The air was fresher here and the trees were taller. Suddenly, from up the hill, something jumped behind the tree. I didn't know if it was a man or an animal, but it looked big and dangerous. I decided to walk back towards the beach, but then I saw him again. I realized it was a man, but he was running very fast from tree to tree. I remember that I had a gun, and this made me feel safer. I decided to walk towards the man. When he saw me walking towards him, to my surprise, he came out from behind the tree and knelt down in front of me. "Who are you?" I asked. "Ben Gunn," he said in a dry voice. "I have not spoken to anyone for 3 years." The man had very long hair and skin that was burnt by the sun. His clothes were dirty and made of old sails. "What happened to you?" I asked. "I was left here by ship," he said. "I've lived on fish and fruit ever since. I dream of eating good food again. If I can get back to my ship, I'll give you bread and cheese," I said. He began to look worried. "If you can get back to your ship, why? What's to stop you?" he said. "It's not a problem with you," I replied. "I'm a good man," he told me. "I'm very rich too," he said in a quiet voice. I began to think that perhaps Ben Gunn was crazy. Ben Gunn saw that I didn't believe him. "I am rich, and you can be rich too, because you found me," he said. Then he looked worried and said, "You didn't come on Flint's ship, did you?" I realized now that this man could help me. "No, Flint's dead, but some of Flint's crew is on the ship." "That's not good for any of us," I told him. "Is there a man with one leg?" he asked. "Yes, Silver. He's a cook and their leader," I explained. "If you work for Silver, I'm finished," he said. I decided to tell him my story from the start, and he looked very interested. "You're a good boy," he said at the end. "Don't worry, you can trust me. Do you think that Trelawney would give me money and allow me to come home on the ship if I helped him?" he asked. "Of course," I replied, "and he will need your help on the ship home, I'm sure." "You're right," he said. "You know, I was on Flint's ship when he hid the treasure here. He was with 6 men, and they were on the island for about a week. We waited for them on a ship called the Walrus. One day, Flint returned to the ship on his own. The other 6 men were dead. We don't know how he did it. Billy Bones and Long John Silver were with me on the ship. They asked Flint where the treasure was. You can go on the island and look for it, he said, but you will be there on your own. I'm taking this ship home. 3 years ago, I was on a different ship. When we saw the island, I told our crew that Flint's treasure was on it. We spent 12 days looking for it. They were not happy when we found nothing. One day, they went back to the ship and told me I could stay. Here is a gun and a spade. You can look for the treasure on your own, they said. So, So, you tell Trelawney I would prefer to work for a man I can trust like him than with a group of pirates. I tell him, but how can I return to my ship from here? I asked him. I have a boat. I made it myself. We could go to the ship when it's dark. Suddenly, we heard the sound of a gun. They have started to fight, I said. We must be quick. I began to run back with Ben. He gave me directions and ran easily next to me. We heard more guns. Then I saw a flag flying above some trees. What do you know about Ben Gunn? Of course, you know that Ben Gunn was one of the men of Flint, or one of Flint's men. How did Ben Gunn end up alone on the island? Because after going back with Flint, he came back 3 years ago with another ship to look for the treasure. But after 12 days of looking, they found nothing, so the men left him on the island with a spade. Match the words and the definitions. Crazy, sail, leader, and fight. Crazy, the person who controls other people to hit, kick or fire guns. Unwell in his mind, a piece of material used to control wind power. So crazy is number C, unwell in your mind. Sail is number D, a piece of material used to control wind power on a ship or a boat. Leader, number A, the person who controls other people. Fight, B, to hit, kick or fire a gun or guns at other people. Now let's look at number 2. The best meaning of knelt down in paragraph 2 is to show surprise and pain? No. To show respect and need for help? Yes. So it's number B. To get everything and run away? No. So it's number B. The word spade or spade in here's a gun and a spade means a tool to dig the earth and make holes, a tool to search for missing things with, a tool to catch dangerous animals with. It's number A, a tool to dig the earth with. Number 3, reading, true or false. And of course correct the false sentences. Jem knew for sure that there is a wild animal behind the tree. Didn't know if it was a man or an animal. Of course, he was not sure, so this is false. He was not sure if this was a man or an animal. Ben Gunn comes out from behind the tree and runs towards Jem. No. When he comes out, he knelt in front of Jem to show respect. Ben Gunn enjoys eating fish and fruit. No, so it's false. He, is bored of eating and he's eager to eat real food. Ben Gunn was on Flint's ship when he hid the treasure on the island. That's true. Number 5. Flint left Ben Gunn on the island. No. Of course, he came back with another ship. Ben Gunn wants to work with the pirates. No, he hates the pirates. Read and complete from the list. Jim Hawkins, Ben Gunn and Jem, Flint, the crew of Ben Gunn's ship. Space was left on the island and lived on fish and fruit. طبعا Ben Gunn. Number 2. مين هنا saw a man running very fast from a tree to a tree. طبعا أكيد هتبقى Jim Hawkins. Number 3. Space returned to the ship on his own. مين اللي رجع السفينة لوحده and the 6 men were dead. طبعا أكيد اللي هو Flint. يبقى number 3 Flint. Number 4. Space ran back on hearing the sound of a gun. طبعا Ben Gunn and Jem ran back on hearing the sound of a gun. مين هنا spent 12 days looking for the treasure? The crew of Ben Gunn's ship. ترتيب الأحداث. Arrange these events in order on the timeline. Number 1 E اللي هي Flint came to the ship to the island and hid the treasure. بعد كده نقرا الجمل. Ben Gunn came to the island on a different ship but didn't find the treasure. Flint returned to his ship without his men. Jim Hawkins' ship came to the island. Jim and Ben Gunn hear guns and see flag flying about the trees. Flint came to the island. Okay, دي محلولة فعلا. The crew of the ship left Ben Gunn on the island. طيب يبقى number 1 اللي هي E اللي هي Flint came to the island and hid the treasure. بعد كده طبعا Flint. اوكي Flint فين اهي. number B Flint returned to his ship without his men. رجع بدون الناس بتوعه. بعد كده Ben Gunn came to the island. راح جه Ben Gunn جه للسفينة. اوكي جه للجزيرة on a different ship but didn't find the treasure. بعد كده number A. بعد كده F اللي هي the crew of the ship left Ben Gunn on the island. واخر حاجة Jim and Ben Gunn اللي هي number D hear guns and see a flag flying. Question 1. I dream of eating good food again. What does this tell you about Ben Gunn's life on the island? On the island he lived on fruit and vegetables, so he is eager to eat the real food. Why do you think Gunn was left alone on the island? Because he promised them of finding the treasure, and when they got this bird they left him with a spade to look for himself. What arrangement did Jim have with Gunn? They agreed to take his boat and go by night to ask Captain Trelawney's help, or Mr. Trelawney's help. Who do you think the flag might belong to? We don't know, but it might be for the pirates or for Mr. Trelawney. Anyway, thank you very much. Bye bye.